Good morning, bookworms. It's Jade from Bedtime Bookworm, and welcome back to my channel. This is the start of my week 10 currently reading vlog. It is Thursday morning at about 8:30 a.m. and I am on my way back to my apartment after going to pick up a bagel. I've been working from home the past few days because I've kind of had some sinus stuff going on and just haven't been feeling great. I also don't like to go into the office when I might be getting sick or something because I'm trying to keep my germs to myself and not spread them to other people. There's a chance that it could just be allergies, but just in case, I would rather work from home than get someone else sick. So my phone is low on battery, and I'm hoping I can get out everything that I want to say before it dies, because I kind of have a lot of thoughts right now, actually. So I am continuing to listen to A Gathering of Shadows on audio, and that's going well. It's a reread for me, so I don't really have that much to say. I'm not noticing anything different on this reread than the first time I read it or anything like that. I'm still not too far into it. I haven't actually checked what page I'm on or anything, so I don't really know how far into it I am. I mean, I'd say definitely less than half, maybe around 30 or 35% if I had to guess, but I could be totally off. The narrators for A Gathering of Shadows are really good if you guys like audiobooks, and if you listen to A Darker Shade of Magic on audio and you weren't that impressed, A Gathering of Shadows actually has different narrators. There's two of them, one for the female voice and one for the male voices, and they're fantastic. So I definitely recommend A Gathering of Shadows on audio if you like audiobooks. The thing that I have a lot to talk about is The Exiled Queen, actually. So I'm about 50%, maybe a little bit more than 50% in, and there's two things that I want to talk about. One, I mentioned in my last video that it feels a little more slow-paced, or, just not as much is going on. So I didn't mention this, and I don't think it's really a spoiler, but the place that they were traveling to in this second book is a school. So now we've got this school trope going on, and they're going to classes and learning things, which in a way is interesting because as they learn things, we are kind of learning more about the world, so it's definitely adding more depth to the world building. But not that I don't like the school trope. I like the school trope, but it's so different from the first book. The first book was really high stakes, it felt like, and there was a lot going on, and I feel like this book, they are going to school, and at the moment that I'm in right now, I'm kind of losing plot. I'm really not sure where this is going. I feel like they're just going to school and I'm hearing about it. I think that some seeds are being planted and things are I'm going to be able to recognize that plot soon, but right now I don't really know what I'm reading other than them going to school. So that's a little bit boring, but at the same time, I really like the characters, I really like the world, so I'm not hating it. It's just different because the first book was so exciting and stuff, and this one, I don't know, I'm just a little bored. Makes me sad, but I still really like it. It just makes me think about something that Victoria Schwab said at an author event that I went to. She was talking about how when you have multiple books in a series, you can't just raise the stakes with each book because, at some point you just can't raise the stakes any higher, but that with each book you just need to have very different stakes. And I feel with this second book, I mean, yes, there's probably some different stakes, but I feel the stakes have actually been lowered than the first book, which just makes it not as exciting. I'm sure things are gonna perk up. I don't know. We'll see. I'll definitely let you know when they do perk up. Alright, I'm pulling into my parking garage, so the lighting is gonna be wonky. But I have one more thing that I really want to talk about The Exiled Queen. So I'm just going to sit here in my car and talk to you about it. So I remember when I was reading the first book in the series, The Demon King, that I noticed some similarities between the world building in this book and the Wheel of Time series, and I kind of mentioned some of them having to do with the idea of the breaking and magical person going crazy and causing havoc on the earth or whatever. And then there were also a lot of names that were really similar. So there's something else that has become apparent in the second book, and I was honestly a little annoyed by it, and I don't know if I should be. So there's this thing in the Wheel of Time where people can go into this dream world, and it's a reflection of the real world. This dream world has specific rules, right? You can change your appearance and look like whatever you want to in this dream world, and you can travel to other places and meet up with other people in the dream world and talk to them them, like have meetings and things like that, which is like a way for people who are in the real world like far apart physically to like be able to talk and catch up. And also, like, if you die in this dream world, you die in real life. So there's this dream world and it has these rules, and in the Exiled Queen, apparently there's also a dream world, which is, it has a different name, so that's good, but it also has probably not the exact same rules, but very similar rules. And I am a little bothered by it, and I like I said, I don't know if I should be. It got me really thinking about, like, at what point is inspiration, and at what point are you taking it too far? And I mean, I don't have an answer for this or anything. It's just something that I've been thinking about since I read that part of the book. There's just so many similarities. I know she probably drew inspiration, but at what point does that inspiration become a little bit of a copycat thing, because it's just so similar? I think that it doesn't take away too much from my overall enjoyment of the book or the series, but there are things that are very noticeable to me and kind of like annoy me a little bit. Everything else about the series is her own take. Like, she has her own world and her own characters, and her character building is great. Anyways, I've just been thinking a lot about, you know, inspiration versus copying. I guess copying is probably not the right word. Maybe like plagiarism. I don't know. I think of plagiarism being more like exact words, but copying ideas is also plagiarism. So I have more thoughts about this, and I'm thinking about doing like a discussion video about it. So if you're interested in hearing more of my thoughts on that topic, let me know down in the comments, because then I'll know that there's actually like interest for that, or give this video a thumbs up. If enough people are interested, maybe I'll do a discussion video about the line between drawing inspiration and plagiarism of ideas. Anyways, that is all I have for now. Those are the only 2 books that I'm reading. I am doing a readathon this weekend, like a 3-day, 72-hour readathon. So I should be getting a lot of reading in this weekend, and hopefully I'll have more updates for you guys. Alright, I'll check in with you later. Bye! Hello, bookworms. Okay, so it is Friday evening, and I know I just started this vlog yesterday, but I'm actually going to split this week's vlog into 2 parts because I am participating in a readathon this weekend. It's called the Beat the Backlist Readathon, which is a challenge that I am participating in this year, focused on reading like backlist books. And I decided I wanted to like do a more detailed vlog of the readathon, and if I try to include that within this like currently reading vlog, then it's just going to be really long. So I'm going to end the first half of week 10 currently reading here. I did talk a lot yesterday anyways about what I was reading. Before I let you go, I do have a couple updates. The Exiled Queen is going well. I read a little bit more and it's starting to pick up a little bit. I'm starting to see the plot seeds being planted and kind of have an idea of where it's going. So that's good. And then I talked a little bit about A Gathering of Shadows yesterday and how I felt like I wasn't very far yet because not that much had happened. Before I went for my run yesterday, I like checked what page I was on. I was like 40% in. So I was way wrong. I definitely was a lot further than I thought. It's the second book in a series, and like a lot of second books in series, I think it's a lot more character focused than plot focused. So even though I haven't been bored at all, there hasn't been a lot of action or anything, but I'm totally fine with that. And I ran yesterday for an hour and I listened to it the whole time because I had to go back to the library. It's actually probably deleted off my phone already. I think it went back like while I was at work today. So I'm gonna have to finish the rest of the book physically, which is fine. I've listened to the whole audiobook before anyways. That's how I read it the very first time. And I really enjoy the narrators, but there's like 4 people in front of me before I could check it out again on audio. So I'm just gonna finish the rest physically. I have about half of it left. So that's where I'm gonna leave it for the first half of week 10 reading vlog. And I guess I'm gonna start reading for the Beat the Backlist readathon this weekend. It started at like midnight this morning, but I haven't read anything at all yet, so I'm about to start reading even though it's like 9 p.m. If you're interested in seeing the second half of what I read this week, which is basically what I'm reading this weekend, then keep an eye out for that vlog. It'll be up next after I get this one posted. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bookworms, keep reading. Bye! Remember when I was reading the first book in the series, I think overall it doesn't take away too much from my overall but anyways, I just think if you so I'm going to cut and I'm going to start my backlist I'm bye.